Hey Car Chronicles fans, it's Justin Rambo here, back with your daily dose of the latest auto news. It's October 23rd, and we've got some major stories on deck today, including a massive lithium discovery in Arkansas, a breakdown of BYD's electric SUV that's causing a stir in Japan, and how used EVs are depreciating faster than expected. Plus, we'll dive into BMW's U.S. sales slump, Toyota's plans for the Sienna Minivan, and much more. Let's get into it. A major lithium deposit has been discovered in Arkansas, a find that could have a significant impact on the electric vehicle EV industry in the U.S. Lithium is essential for EV batteries, and with this discovery, the U.S. has a real opportunity to reduce its dependence on foreign lithium suppliers like China. At Car Chronicles, we see this as a potential game changer. Right now, China dominates the lithium supply chain, controlling over 80% of the global market. This discovery could push the U.S. toward more self-sufficiency in battery production, which could, in turn, reduce the cost of EVs over time. If Arkansas becomes a key player in lithium production, we might see an accelerated transition to EVs, as domestic production tends to stabilize or even lower prices. However, it's important to note that this won't happen overnight. The extraction, refinement, and processing of lithium are complex and time-consuming. It'll be critical to see how the state of Arkansas manages the environmental concerns surrounding lithium mining, especially as the demand for EVs skyrockets. We'll keep an eye on how this story develops and what it means for future EV pricing and adoption in the US. Next up, a teardown of BYD's electric SUV has shocked engineers in Japan. They're scratching their heads over how BYD can produce a high-quality EV at such a low cost. This is a major point of concern for Japanese automakers, who are known for their precision engineering, but have struggled to keep EV costs competitive. Car Chronicles has been following BYD closely, and this news only solidifies their growing dominance in the EV market. BYD's cost efficiencies come from its vertical integration. Essentially, BYD controls much of its supply chain, from battery production to vehicle assembly. This level of control allows them to cut down on expenses in ways traditional automakers, especially in Japan, haven't been able to. This is a direct challenge to legacy automakers worldwide, not just in Japan. The ability to produce a high-quality EV at such a low cost could push competitors to rethink their strategies and lower their prices, potentially sparking a pricing war in the EV sector. For consumers, this could be a win, but it definitely puts pressure on manufacturers to innovate or risk falling behind. In a new analysis from Cox Automotive, data shows that used electric vehicles are losing value faster than hybrids and traditional gas-powered cars. This is particularly troubling given the push toward widespread EV adoption. The report reveals that, on average, used EVs depreciate at a higher rate, making them less appealing to potential second-hand buyers. Here at Car Chronicles, we think this trend could hurt EV adoption, especially in markets that rely heavily on used vehicle sales. One possible reason for this rapid depreciation is the pace at which EV technology is advancing. Newer models often come with better range, faster charging capabilities, and improved features, making older models feel outdated quickly. Another issue is the uncertainty around battery life. Many potential buyers are wary of purchasing a used EV because of concerns over battery degradation and the high cost of replacement. Automakers will need to focus on building consumer confidence in the longevity of EVs and finding ways to preserve their resale value, possibly by offering extended warranties on batteries. BMW's U.S. division reported a sales slump in the third quarter, primarily due to a recall-related stop sale. However, the U.S. head of BMW is optimistic, betting that the company will still achieve a record sales year by the end of 2024. Despite the Q3 dip, BMW saw a 3.1% sales increase in the first half of the year, and the company remains confident it can recover before year-end. At Car Chronicles, we think BMW's confidence isn't misplaced. The company has a strong lineup of luxury vehicles, and despite this temporary setback, its brand loyalty and recognition remain high. However, BMW will need to act fast to resolve the recall issue and get their inventory moving again. We're also keeping an eye on their push into the EV space. With the i4 and iX leading the charge, BMW is showing they're committed to electrifying their lineup. If they can nail down both their traditional and EV offerings, there's a strong chance they'll bounce back and potentially hit that record sales year. A new study reveals that Chinese automakers are planning to double their overseas production capacity to avoid the impact of tariffs. This strategic move allows Chinese brands to remain competitive in global markets by producing vehicles closer to their customers in regions like Europe and North America. Car Chronicles sees this as a significant power play from Chinese automakers. By building more factories overseas, they can sidestep costly tariffs and reduce the logistical expenses of exporting vehicles. This will likely allow them to maintain their aggressive pricing strategy, especially in the EV market, where affordability is key. For US and European automakers, this move means more competition from well-priced, well-built Chinese cars. It's a clear sign that China's automotive industry is no longer focused solely on its domestic market, but is aiming for a more significant share of the global automotive pie. Toyota is gearing up to increase production of the Sienna Minivan by 20% in 2025, despite the general shift toward SUVs. Toyota's hybrid-powered Sienna continues to be a top seller in the minivan segment. The vehicle's popularity among families looking for spacious, fuel-efficient options is driving this production increase. At Car Chronicles, we find it interesting that Toyota is doubling down on the minivan segment, particularly as other manufacturers have scaled back their offerings. It's clear that the hybrid technology is a major selling point for the Sienna, appealing to eco-conscious consumers who need a family vehicle with great mileage. Toyota's decision signals that there's still demand for practical family vehicles like minivans, especially when they come with modern hybrid features. This could also pave the way for other manufacturers to reconsider the minivan market. Lastly, California is looking at another potential rise in gas prices due to new environmental policies. The state's regulations aim to further reduce carbon emissions, but the increased costs for oil companies could get passed down to consumers, meaning even higher gas prices at the pump. At Car Chronicles, we know that California's environmental policies have always been a double-edged sword. While the state leads the charge on green initiatives, it also has some of the highest gas prices in the country. For EV manufacturers, this policy could serve as a boost, pushing more drivers toward electric alternatives. However, until the charging infrastructure catches up, California's drivers might feel the pinch before they see the benefits. And that's a wrap for today's auto news. Stay tuned to Car Chronicles For all the latest updates and our in-depth takes on the automotive world, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment with your thoughts on today's story.